VIP fam, what's good? Your boy Fontaine, VIPSoundLab.com. Had a VIP member request. They wanted me to show them how to use the sample section and import MP3s and files from the MK1. So I had to plug in my MK1 right quick. And nothing's really changed, you know, as far as certain things. Certain screens are going to look a little bit different, but I think you'll get it in like ABC 1, 2, 3. You know, if you need me to make some videos on the MK1, I could do that, because when you're on your main sound page, like for example, if you press shift and navigate, that's what's going to get you through your mixer screens back and forth like this right here. So that's how that works. Then if you hit the duplicate button, you'll see where your scenes and your patterns are supposed to be. So if you start pressing your buttons like B through H, you know, or hit this plus icon right here, when you get to the last one, you're going to wonder how to get to the next screen. Just lock in that duplicate button. It's the first button to the left on the left hand side of the screen, and you hit the next key, which is like the fourth button. And what's going to happen is it's just going to take you to the next set of groups. So that's pretty, or rather the banks. That's pretty much how that works. But I'm gonna do some videos on that. But for right now, let's answer the questions on the MP3s. Then we'll fall into the sampling, because I don't want to run too long in the video. So you know, with programs such as Ableton Live, Pro Tools, and stuff like that, you could drop an MP3 in there, render the audio as a wave, and drag and drop it directly into Maschine 9 times out of 10. If not, you can use like a converter program such as this one right here called Mobile Media Converter, which is just a program I got off the internet actually. And the funny thing about it, it doesn't dumb the quality down. That's what I like about it, and it's fast. So if I need to convert an MP3 real fast, I use this a lot of times. I just press convert, and boom, just that fast. You know, then I can run over here to Maschine, grab my little wave file I just made, drop it in, boom, in there. Then I jump over here to my sampler section, and basically how you do that, you look on the right hand side of the screen, you're going to see channel and plugin. You press plugin, then you jump over there to your polyphony, you bring that to 1. All right, then you jump down here, and you see right here, this is where you can choke off your pads. So you press choke 1 if you want to choke your pads off. If you got 16 sounds in here, you want all these samples to choke all the other pads off, you put them in the same choke group. If you're stacking drum sounds, you can use a little link feature right here and put them all in the same link group, and all it's going to do is just going to basically take your pads and it's going to stack them up. You know, that works dope for like instruments and stuff like that. I got some videos on that, so you might want to check that out. So boom, there we go. Now what we want to do is we want to jump over to the sampler. All right, and here goes the sample I'm working with, and let me make sure my pad mode is set up correct. All right, cool. Just want to make sure it's loud enough for y'all to hear it. And this is a little sample. I'm just going to make a quick loop out of it, because he wanted to know how to use the loop feature also. All right, so I'm just gonna make a quick loop out of that right quick, and I'm just gonna do some quick editing right here. I think I might have cut that off too quick on the end part right there. Let me see. Ain't too bad. It's kind of tight though on the end though, so we'll bring this back a little bit. Like that there, give me something to work with, and I'll just put it about right here. That's where it should be. And another dope thing about Maschine, you have this little icon here. It's like a locator, and if you take your mouse and you roll that little scroll wheel like this right here, see, I can get in like real fine like that. I'm talking about you can get way down in there, son, like right there. You know, bam. So let's get this beginning part right. Zoom up in that joint. Way down in there, son. Right there. Just like that. That's where I want to get it. I want to be about right there. Boom. All right. Then you got like other tools down here if you want to do it from the software, like truncate, normalize, you know, to bring up the levels of it, reverse fade in, fade out. You can put like a point right here, press fade out, it'll fade everything after this line out. You know, silent sections, you can use a little cut tool down here, like however you want to do it. You can copy and paste samples. You got your time stretch icon and all that. I'll get into that in a minute. Let's go ahead and jump over to the slicer. Let's get you familiar with that also. So the record section, I covered that in my last video if you want to take a look at that. If you're going to be recording from external source, you can select your external stereo or external mono, as well as internal. You can do up to 4 inputs right here. You got your sync modes as well as your detect modes here. Detect is just basically going to start recording depending on the threshold amount. Okay. Sync is going to basically automatically record and stop at a certain amount of bars, whatever you set it to. You know, set free mode, you get to stop it on your own. So that's all that is. Edit. This is basically what we're doing. We're editing up our sample. Slice. You know, you got modes like split. You got grid, which is basically going to chop it up based on the beats per minute of your session here. Then you got like detect, which is basically detecting the biggest note events. So you see right there, Maschine it's seeing whatever's the biggest transients and is basing it on that. Okay, that's all that is. You know, then you got other modes right here, such as manual, which basically is going to default if you're using like the slice tool. That's basically, okay, let me show you. If I'm on split like this, which are equal distant slice points, see it's on split, right? But look, I selected this slice tool right here. Off like that. It ain't doing it. Slice again on. It turns like a little knife, a little slicer. So now when I make that first slice, boom, it's going to manual. The beats per minute come up. It's auto detecting them joints. So I'm going like this right here, slicing up the audio. I control Z that because I don't need that right now for what I'm doing. You have this icon here. You can drag these samples. Like I'm not going to do it right now, but if you hold down this and just drag, at first it's going to look like it's not doing anything. You take it and you drag it and you put it on the sound. It'll fall right there and it'll be mapped out. And you have this icon right here. If you don't want a pattern, you don't have to have a pattern. You know, creating a pattern is just basically the default, or you can replace a pattern if you had a pattern mapped out and you didn't like it. And that's all that is. All this is self-explanatory. Remove, you know, you can remove slices and all that good stuff there. Zone is just basically, this is your map. You know, basically this whole sample is mapped out like this right here. If it was like this right here, that's going to be on one key. Like this right here, like you could take a whole entire drum kit, drag it on there, put up, you know, a whole entourage of sounds. And let me jump back over here right quick. Well, actually, let me show you this right here. You have an icon right here. If you hit this, you can go inside your hard drive and grab samples and stuff like that. That's another way you can drag them in. This icon right here, you can change your sources from a mono source to a stereo source for the viewing anyway. So I'm gonna jump back over here, slice again, stereo, mono. We got 4 little slice points right there. I'm just doing a video, not trying to make a beat, so I'm not gonna really care how this is lining up, because the way it is right now, let's see, it'll be like I can make loops out that joint. Anyway, I ain't trying to make no beat right now anyway. So that's pretty much how that works. Okay, then you hit the apply button. Okay, and then that would bring it on to a set of pads. Or again, you can use this little icon right here, bring it in there like this. Okay, so if I'm on the grid, you see how they get mapped out? They get mapped out right there on the grid. You know, so if you didn't, oops, I'm on a paint tool. If you didn't want that on there, of course you can hit no pattern and they won't show up. All right, so we got our samples, right? Okay, so now what I want to do, okay, all right, so from that point you want to go to pad mode, keyboard, and your keys are going to come up. Get the sample screen so you can see what I'm doing. See, they're all showing up. So remember, pad mode, keyboard, and that's how you get to your samples. And you got your edit icon right here. So whatever pad you're tapping on, it highlights and doesn't highlight the rest of them. So, you know, if you're gonna go back to, let's say slice, let's say if we were over in that slice screen as before, you can overlap samples. Like this starting point can be manipulated to be like this, so it's coming in towards the ending of the previous sample. See how it starts right there? Because the one before it is like, it has like that little hi-hat on the end of it. You hear it, it's like the doom. You got that little, so that other one starting right with the hi-hat. So, you know, if you, I don't know if you had a sample where you needed to do that, you fast enough, get in there. You know, that's how that would work. All right, so let's put this back. Bam. All right, so what else I wanted to show you? Oh, let's go ahead and use the shift navigate key now. Press shift, rather hold down the shift key, press navigate. Okay, it's going to take you over to the sampler section. Now, this is a section you're going to want to get familiar with also, because just to make this a lot easier to understand, I'm going to jump on the first sound here. And what I'm going to do, or matter of fact, hold on. Let me Control Z that back. Let me jump back over here right quick. Let's jump on this and go to edit. Yeah, I'm gonna do it like this. So to make a better example like this, so then I don't have to keep worrying about, you know, looking at these keys. I'm trying to focus on the software right now so I can show you this. So now what I wanted to show you was these different engines. Like, for example, if I wanted to tune this, let's say if I wanted to tune this to, let's say, -1, just to slow it down a little bit. You know, it's getting gritty, getting grimy. So let's say you want to loop it. So now you're like, okay, how do I loop it? If I want to loop my sample, you got a loop button right here. And you turn it on, you see a loop icon like this right here, right? So let's say you set your loop, but you're on one shot mode, and then you press play, and you run into a brick wall like. You're like, yo, why is it stopping? That's because it can't be on one shot. You got to be on AHD or ADSR, you know? So for example, let's select ADSR for right now. You know, and then when you let go of the button, it stops. You know, I probably could have looped that up a lot better, but again, this is just for a tutorial video. I'm not trying to make a beat to be perfect here, but you know, you get the idea. Then you got other modes like AHD. So that's attack, hold, and decay. So basically, let me move this up a little bit so you can see. It's gonna play, then it's gonna fade off, and that's gonna be extremely short right there. That'll be like, see how fast that is? Right away. So if you slide this out a little bit more, like this here, you get a little bit more before it gradually will fade off. So if you hold on a button, it might loop it one time before it fades off. Let's see. So that's dope. You know, if you got a pad set up like that, you might be doing live performance. You might have one pad. You might want to fade your song off real quick. So that's a little trick. You know what I mean? You could go ahead and set up like that and fade your song off real smooth if you don't want to be messing with the volume button or automating anything. You know, and have that pad kill off like everything. All right, so that's how that works. I'm going back to ADSR mode. And I wanted to show you, let's say if you wanted to dirty your sample up a little bit. I like to dirty my samples up a little bit with the saturation. Got the drive down here. I'm loving that loop too, hot loop. Then you have the lo-fi right here if you really want to make it sound like an old dirty nasty sample you got out of a mom and pop store, and you need to wash it with like alcohol and a bar of soap, and it still sound like a bunch of like crackles and garbage on it. You know what I'm saying? It just sound like that lo-fi for mangling up sound, electronic music, stuff like that, fam. That's what that's for. And you got the bits if you want to dumb it down a little bit more. Too many bits starts to get staticky. Okay, then you have your filter right here, your filter section right here, which reminds me of kind of the battery. Like you have a low pass here, and check it out. You have independent knobs here like this, right? But what's dope is Native Instruments is smart. They got it. So if you grab this little icon right here, see how they move, kind of like an auto pen feature. They both auto pen and they move, so you could be like. So that's dope. Because to me, low pass is dope because I produce hip hop music a lot, and a lot of times if I want to get a bass line from a dope sample and I don't want to sit there and play no bass line, or I might get lazy, or I could filter it, get like the lowest part of a sample. Let me bring this down a little bit. My dock keeps getting in my way. I hate this dock. Sometimes it pops up and drives me crazy. All right, so let's say if I had it like this right here. Filter that a little bit better. Well, this sample right here, you know, that might not be a good example, but that just gives you an idea how you can get the bass line out of samples. So that's basically what the low pass is for. Then you got other modes such as band pass if you want to get it more towards the mid range. All right, then you got the high pass. The high pass is dope a lot of times, believe it or not. When you could filter out like impurities in samples a lot of times, believe it or not. Like you know, whatever you want to do. Okay, then you got the EQ right here. Seeing what I love about this workflow, the way they have it now, I like how it auto pins these knobs right here, so you don't have to sit there and waste your time going through all these knobs. You know what I mean? I could jump over MP60 mode, take advantage of that vintage circuitry that everybody be going crazy for. Loving it. Man, just appreciate your 2.0 software. Just appreciate what Native Instruments is doing for us. They're doing I can't curse on cam, but man, they doing of a job for us. Yes, indeedy. You know, and then you got like the Q bus here. I'll get into this in another video. You got the master like this, and you got the Q like that, and you can have up to two external I believe outputs for your Q bus. And basically how it works, you got these little headphone icons right here. You could turn them on, and basically if you're doing a live performance, the audience doesn't have to hear what you're hearing inside your headphones. You know, if you got Apogee or, you know, a certain program, you know, the programs when it brings up your levels inside your sound card, you can get all that set up right there. And that's all the Q bus is. But you know, if you need a more detailed video on the Q bus, let me know. I'll get into that. There was something else I wanted to show you on here. Oh yeah. While you're going to be doing your sampling, you know, if you want to get your effects, you have a little plugin icon right here, where if you wanted to come in here, you know, let's say if we want to add some effects or something like that, and Let's see. I don't know. Just looking for something to grab and bug out with. Let's grab a tape. Because to me, I don't know. I just like gritty effects and stuff like that on my samples. Like, okay, I can see the way they got this set up. Let's go to normal bass. Let's slow the tape speed down. Bring the record level down. We'll take some of that flux out of there. I don't need any wow or flutter. I don't need any noise on that. And let's say if I brought this up, delay time, let's say to 312, and I put the feedback at, let's say 31.2, which is basically going to bounce off each other. And they got these little knobs where I can fine tune that. It's going to sound like a, basically a delay. It's basically, I'm just making like a homemade delay. So it sound like a turntable, like bam, bam, like somebody hitting a fader, kind of like. You know what I'm saying? So that's dope. Let's jump back over here and let's bug out with this some more. Let's go to my ADSR mode, MPC 60. Let's go to my tune, slow this down, let's bring my saturation up. Fault that back. Don't just bug it out with that, because it's dope like that, because you can get like some ill effects with that. Like, for example, let's say if I bring this down way down here, right? Because your loop feature, when it's on, because it'll be looped like this, it works separate from your start point. Like if you have your start point way back here, this is where your sample gonna start. See what I'm saying? So now that little delay effect is on, wherever you stop it. Like if you want to stop it on a snare, and it kind of fades off, that's dope. Or if I was down here like this right here, see how it pushes the looper? Let me bring this back so I can show it to you a lot better. This looper icon, right? When you're going like this, you hit a wall. This left handle for the start, it's like basically it's like a brick wall for your looper. Like when you're going like this, it's gonna stop it. Bam. So if you're rolling your start point like this, it pushes like a bulldozer. It pushes that little looper wherever you need it. See, if you're trying to do some fine tuning, or if I'm like this, let's say I'm zoomed in there and I'm like, yo, I need this looper right there. You could take a little start point and just bulldoze it right on there like that. Boom. So if I was back here, and then it's gonna keep looping in this one little area. Let me zoom out that so y'all can see that better, so you understand what's happening. See how I just kept. Let me use a shorter example. I'm gonna use a little short example right there. See that? If I go like that, it's just gonna keep looping. So that's how that works, man. Yeah, man. So that's pretty much how that works in a nutshell. I really don't know how else to explain it, but that's pretty much how you get things going when you're going to be doing your slicing, your chopping, and get in there and add your little effects, and you understand what's going on. I mean, we got other areas in here I can explain. Let me looking at this video, I just don't want to run so long in this video because I'll be going on this for days, man. Got a little reverse icon right here. You know what I mean? That's a little reverse icon, and yeah, man, that's pretty much how this little section works, man. This is basically known as your plug-in chain down here. When you start adding more, like the more plugins you add, the more this chain fills up, and it's like a little bar down here, or there will be a little bar down there. Let me see if I can get it to come up so you don't get left out. Let me Let's put an L1 right there right quick. Okay, see how now the bar comes up? This bar is starting to appear now because things are getting a little crowded. So you can have a ton of plugins in here depending on your sound card. You know, so if your sound card can handle it, you can have a ball and, you know, add as many as you want. Now, of course, I'm just bugging out with that effect, but you basically get the idea of what's going on. That's basically how your little sampler section work. So I hope I'm not leaving anything out. Again, you got these little tools right here. Oh, time stretch. Let me show you that right quick. Let me turn this off right quick. Oh, you got a little this little arrow right here. Also, you can hit that. It'll bring your plugin up like that, by the way. And that's how you close it back down like that. Hit this little icon right there and it kills it, the effect. See how it killed it? That's how you mute your plugins. You know, so that's pretty much how that works. Now let me jump back over. I wanted to show you the time stretch. For example, we're at 95 beats per minute, right? So basically, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Your sixth button on the right hand screen, you want to keep scrolling that until you get to your time stretch feature. Then the settings come up and the apply button. So if you hit the settings, for example, you get this screen right here where you have modes such as beat and free. Free mode is more or less for speeding stuff up and slowing it down. Beat's going to determine the beats per minute. You can see right here it's saying, hey, this is a 2-bar loop. 95 beats per minute is what the new BPM would be. The source is 90.88, and you can tune it up here. And here's your 4-minute correction, which is basically 9 times out of 10 for vocals. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, from 90 to 95 is not too much of a big difference, because if you hear it right here, all right, and keep that in your mind, because you're gonna hear the difference in the playback of the audio. Now this is an offline time stretch, so you cannot hear it in real time yet, but maybe an update. But anyway, you just press apply or apply right here. Either way, I'm gonna do it from the hardware controller, the MK1 rather. And there it is. All right, I don't know if you can tell a difference on that, so I'm gonna do something a little more drastic. I'm gonna do 85, which is gonna slow that joint down mad slow. All right, so let's try that. Let's try 85. Press apply. Alright, didn't really slow it down as much as I thought it would. Yeah, I was hoping for something a little more drastic. Let me try 120 beats per minute. Let me try speeding it up, which is not a bad thing. I'm not complaining. Don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining about that at all, because time stretch is something, as a producer, a lot of times samples, you got time stretch that HE double hockey sticks out of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So let's try 120. I'm just trying to show a difference here. That's all. All right, major difference in there. Then you got other features like, let's say if I put this little point right here, and I want to fade that out, maybe from like here back, you have the fade out feature. See how that got smaller? You keep clicking on that, it gets smaller and smaller. So if I hit this right here, well, maybe that was a little too much. Let me back that up a little bit so you can see some of the transients just a little bit. All right, so you get the idea on that. Let's try fading it in from this point. Let's do it like that. Let's highlight this section right here. Let's put it about right there. Like, I don't know if you can hear that getting like it's fading in, like from a lower decibel to a higher decibel. You know, then you got things like normalize. You know, that's pretty much how that works. You know, cut it off if you didn't want that little part on there. Bring it back. This little area right here, if I want to copy it, you know, come over here and you can paste stuff. You know, now it's a duplicate of what you see right there. So that's gonna sound crazy, I know. Cause I'm just bugging out, man. But let's take all this off right quick. And I'm just Control Z in that. All right, man. So that's pretty much the sampler section. It's boy Fontaine, VIPSoundLab.com. Come by the website. We got a VIP membership. It's $9.99 with no monthly fees. Again, I repeat, no monthly fees. We give out free controller editor templates. We give out free sessions, free Maschine kits. I mean, you name it. Free Maschine 2.0 tutorials, free studio tutorials. We got some banging industry standard drum libraries over there. Matter of fact, we just dropped a new drum kit. It's called the VIP Crack Drum Kit. And man, let me tell you, I put some overtime on that joint, and that kit is bananas. Every sound in there, when I say every sound in there is banging, crazy fresh. You know, I don't have it right now inside my library, I don't think. Let's see. Jump over to my kits. Is it in here? I think I might have it. You know, I'm still working on these graphic images and stuff like that. It's in here. I'm pretty sure it's in here, but this is so hard to read right now because I'm still doing my imaging. But I know it's in there. You know what? Just go by the website. I got a demo on the website. You know, just jump in over there and you could take a look at it and download it and check it out for yourself. But, you know, just don't take my word for me because believe me, that drum kit is crazy. All right, so what more can I say, man? I mean, that pretty much wraps it up in a nutshell. That's how you go ahead and, you know, get your samples imported in there, convert your MP3 files. You know, we went ahead, we browsed over the little sampler section down here, you know, going through the engines and, you know, the synth models. You know, of course, you got 1200 and, you know, you got other models here, of course. But, you know, you get an idea of the amp envelopes, the filters, you know, how the saturation works, the tuning and all that stuff. And, you know, you get a basic understanding of that in your plug and chain, you know, because time goes by, you'll get more advanced with it and it'll become more familiar to you. And that's pretty much it. I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.